It's been 5 years since Russia sent nuclear-capable bombers to Venezuela. Before that, they did so in 2008 when tensions were particularly high with the U.S. The Russian bomber crews arrived outside Caracas Monday after flying more than 6,000 miles. U.S. intelligence officials monitored the flight of the two supersonic Blackjack bombers as they took off from an air base in Russia and flew over the North Pole and across the Atlantic to Venezuela. These are the same type of bombers which have launched cruise missiles into Syria. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo responded, quote, "The Russian and Venezuelan people should see this for what it is, two corrupt governments squandering public funds and squelching liberty and freedom while their people suffer." The Venezuelan president was in Moscow last week. Today, the Kremlin rejected Secretary Pompeo's criticism, calling it undiplomatic, adding a swipe at the Pentagon, saying such criticism of Russian military movements is odd coming from a country, quote, half of whose military budget would be enough to feed the whole of Africa. Bill?
Back here at home, the president took some by surprise. He's calling for billions rather more in defense spending. How much more, Jennifer?
Well, the president met Defense Secretary Mattis and both Republican House and Senate Armed Services chairman last week for lunch. That's when reports leaked out that the White House was seeking $750 billion for the 2020 Pentagon budget, a shocking figure when just last week the president said $700 billion was his top line. Weeks before, the president had demanded a 5% cut from all government agencies. A key achievement of his administration has been to rebuild the military after years of budget cuts and caps. This year's defense budget is $716 billion. The Pentagon was hoping for $733 billion for the 2020 budget. Some political insiders have argued the president's choice of $750 billion is a negotiating tactic to get to that number of $703 billion. And we've just heard the president tweet that if Congress does not build the wall, the Pentagon will do it. So it is clear that he is putting that number of 750 out there in case the Pentagon has to build the wall, and it would be slipped into the Pentagon budget.